Welcome to the Gavel. I'm Terry Ikumi. This week, while the National Assembly is still on its annual recess till the 23rd of September, some House committee meetings held. One of them is the Ad Hoc Committee on Stakeholders' Engagement on the Challenges and Prospects of the Baro River Port, which had the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy and that of Transportation in attendance. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, is restating the federal government's commitment to make Baro River Port in Niger State a vibrant inland gateway. Also, the House of Representatives Committee on NGCares on Wednesday began investigation into the implementation of the $696 million Nigeria Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus, also known as NGCares program. Now, NGCares is the social intervention program of the federal government. Take a listen.
Please.
The Ad Hoc Committee of the House was constituted after the adoption of a motion on the need to convene a national stakeholders engagement on the challenges and prospects of the inland port. On Tuesday, the committee received the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy as it commenced its public hearing. The engagement began with the committee chairman explaining the reason for the hearing.
This is not an investigative committee. The mandate of the committee is to convene stakeholder engagement so that we'll put our heads together, bring all stakeholders under one umbrella to discuss the challenges and prospects of operationalizing Baro Port. It is not an investigative hearing, an investigative committee. So we need to be well guided in terms of the way we present these issues to the world. There were reportings that did not go down well, and of course I read it too, and I saw that it didn't really represent what we discussed as a committee. We are not here to put anybody on into any media trial. It is not the purview of the committee to put anybody on trial. We are here to put our heads together with relevant stakeholders in order to be able to provide solutions to what is militating the operationalization of Baro Port. So I feel I should put this out so that we'll be well guided with what we are reporting to the people. We had an engagement, I think, about 2 weeks back, but this is the first time that we're having the major players, the heads of ministries, departments, and agencies as far as the assignment is concerned. So, with the turn up today, I think even the committee will be more than impressed, especially because we feel we cannot do it alone. The input, the information that we need to drive this assignment rests on the other side of the divide. So if we're coming together to deliberate, to discuss, I think it will make the work a lot easier. And that's exactly what we have come out to achieve this afternoon.
The minister, Mr. Adegboyega Oyetola, acknowledged the struggles of the port.
Although commissioned in 2019 under the past administration, the port has faced operational constraints, chief among them the absence of critical linkages to road and rail infrastructure, sanitation, and navigability challenges along the River Niger, and other technical barriers that have hindered its year-round use. Yet, despite these challenges, the Baro Port remains promising. Its location positions it perfectly to integrate with agricultural value chain, serve as a feeder to Onitsha, Lokoja, and Warri ports, and bolster Nigerian trade competitiveness under the African Continental Free Trade Area framework. Let me assure this honorable committee that our ministry, the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, remains unwavering in its determination to transform the Baro River Port from a dormant facility into a thriving inland gateway. We are working closely with relevant ministries, departments, and agencies, including the Federal Ministry of Works and Transportation, to achieve a holistic and fully integrated operational framework. Let me emphasize that for the port to operate effectively, it is necessary to, 1, improve river navigability through capital and continuous maintenance dredging, develop rail and road links for seamless connectivity, attract reputable private sector operators through concession arrangements and public-private partnership, and implement transparent and efficient governance system for its operation.
The Managing Director of the National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, Bola Oyibamiji, who was present at the hearing, made a presentation and noted the significant economic potential of the Baro Port.
Baro Port was established in 1908 by Lord Frederick Lugard before the amalgamation of Nigeria in 1940. It was established for critical hub for evaluation and evacuation of agricultural goods between the north and the south through River Niger. Linked to railway in 1912 as a collection point for efficient export of agricultural product operations. It was enhanced in 1953 by Alhaji Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. Baro Port was established to facilitate shipment of groundnuts, maize, cotton, and palm oil. Inclusive again is the mineral resources and cattle. And to contribute greatly to the Nigerian economic development, and to serve as vital inland transport link in colonial times.
Also speaking, Minister of Transportation Saidu Alkali revealed that his ministry is developing a rail line to connect Baro Port with the rest of the country.
It is vested in the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy and must specifically managed as a sub-agency or national asset under the Nigerian Inland Waterways Authority. Notwithstanding the above reality, the Federal Ministry of Transportation has a critical role in the operation of the Baro Inland Port through ensuring effective execution of the ongoing rehabilitation of the 190-kilometer all-rail narrow gauge from Minna to Baro. This rail line will be connected to the old Lagos-Kano narrow gauge for freight rehabilitated by this administration. The route has been put into use, although the operation is recently interrupted by the Mokwa flood incidents.
Find a way of lobbying the administration. One of the most critical things before you think of dredging again is putting that road. Because once you do not put the access road to Baro and you go ahead and dredge and desilt, what has happened to that place over time is that when you do not use a channel you have dredged, the sand comes back again, sedimentation. So please, we are here to provide solutions. First and foremost, for heaven's sake, we are just looking at 76 kilometers. I do not believe that is a problem for this administration. And considering the utility ratio, the return on investment for this country, the ROI, that is not money that should be a challenge. So I'm happy you said it's a priority, but we need to begin to walk the talk. I expect one fund has been named the Renew Hope Fund. Let us prioritize. Let us see that in this year, FEC Intro has announced an intervention that road is going to be done. I can assure you that would open up even marine activities like fishing within that area. Then it would be much easier for us to be able to get the necessary interest, because no foreign investor will come and dredge that channel for you. if there is no access road there.
Why will the ministry, yes, the ministry just created, but it's a continuation of the past. Because I believe whatever schedule that was there, is still the same schedule they are carrying. It's just a question division of labor, so that we'll have ease of doing of governance. The answers for me are not tenable. And I don't find it, as a legislator or parliamentarian, palatable. Why would we drag a president to go and commission a project that we know is not right for utilization? And there's an annexure to even what is happening in other part, because I read it's, a kind of stories or something like that given from the Onitsha port that they can utilize because of lack of dredging of this particular one. And it is not just that the project was conceived. This was something that was first started by Lord Lugard. I mean, Lord Lugard amalgamated Nigeria in 1914. And then we're still talking about something like that, Mr. I think we should find another excuse. And no excuse as far as I'm concerned. President Goodluck Jonathan came through Eradua, awarded the dredging of this particular trench. What has happened to the dredging? What really happened? How much was paid?
There is the need to make adequate provision for dredging for Niwa. If 2,000 kilometers had been adequately provided, Baro Port would have been a priority in terms of dredging. So if the fund is not provided, if you give an envelope and you don't even have sufficient fund to even dredge 100 kilometers, how do you now appropriate that kind of funding to be able to deal with a priority project like Baro Port? Yes, perhaps like a part of what we are trying to do now, we can, by extension, look for the opportunity of an intervention fund. But essentially, the budget thing that was given to us did not give opportunity for each of these projects to be so provided for in terms of funding. That's exactly what I've tried to explain. Completion, like I mentioned before, ordinarily, you don't commission a project when the infrastructure actually is not in place. One would have expected that the access road and the rail connectivity should have been provided.
The committee resolved to embark on an on-the-spot assessment to the port in order to see what would be done to make its operations a reality. The House of Representatives Committee on the Nigeria Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus, simply known as NGCares, has commenced an investigation into the disbursement of funds by the program. Chairman of the committee, while speaking to journalists in Abuja, disclosed that the investigation became inevitable since the masses were not feeling the impact of the program, despite the federal government fulfilling its funding obligations.
We asked the program coordinating office here in Abuja to give us data on how they implement the program, because we learned that the program has been on in the last 10 years, but there is no committee oversighting them. There is no individual or organization that is charged with the responsibility of looking after what the program or what the program coordinating office is doing. Until the National Assembly now that they created this committee and they gave us the mandate to oversight this program. And having takes this responsibility, we collected data from the program coordinating office here in Abuja, and so far we realized that every state in Nigeria, including FCT Abuja, they collected billions of naira under this program.
Welcome back to the Gavel. Before the House embarked on its annual recess, a major bill, the Electoral Act Amendment bill, was passed through second reading. So let's take a look at how that process went.
Amen. The ayes have it. The Deputy Speaker presided as the House considered the Electoral Act Amendment Bill as presented by the Chairman of the Committee on Electoral Matters.
I rise to move that a bill for an act to repeal the Electoral Act number 13 of 2022 and enact the Electoral Bill to regulate the conduct of federal, state and area councils in the Federal Capital Territory election and for related matters, HB 2479, be read second time.
One lawmaker, however, raised an alarm over the exclusion of his bill.
I observed a serious problem with the Electoral Act. I came up with a bill seeking to amend specifically a section of the Electoral Act dealing with overvoting, because I was affected by that issue during the 2023 general election. I lost over 10 votes because some people, my opponents, will just come, they will target where I get most of my votes, they will just increase the number of the voters in that polling unit by just 1 or 2, and then my entire votes in that unit is cancelled. I presented a bill before this House, and it was passed as second reading. Today, the House Committee on Electoral Matters presented an amendment, a report, conveniently excluding my bill from the compendium. It was not listed here. This is a fraudulent document, and we pass it.
The Deputy Speaker intervenes and puts the matter to rest.
Repeal and enactment
of the entire Electoral Act.
Yes. Which means if we pass this bill as second reading, mine is not there. It has taken care of everything.
Second reading?
The second reading, yeah.
No, it's still coming back to consideration of report. It's still coming back after second reading.
By then it will be too late. It will not be part of the bill that was passed after second reading.
After second reading, it will go back to the committee. And at the committee, like you know, they will do technical sections and public hearings, and it will come back to the committee of the whole. And at that time, maybe public hearing, if you feel there are things that are not right, you can also inject it there before it comes back through their report for our consideration. And if your own bill is going to be listed as one of the bills that will accompany this during public hearing, I think you should just get the date for the public hearing, participate, and make sure it makes the report.
Our feature this week on Constituency Focus is Senator Abdulaziz Yaradua, who represents Katsina Central Senatorial District.
I've done so many of the free medical care for my constituency, ranging from surgery of hernia, eye surgery, and giving of free drugs. This has impacted well within my constituency. You know how drugs are today, very expensive for our people to get. So what we did was to ensure that at least every month or every 2 months we conduct a free medical outreach for our people, having different dealing with different types of diseases. So we are going category by category to do the best we can to provide drugs for them, to provide surgery for them, eye surgery and so on, cataract, and the rest of them. So that we have been doing on a monthly basis. We always bring out some medical outreach to see how we can impact. Where you have hundreds of people, thousands of them coming out to benefit from it. And the state government is also doing very well in that regard. Our hospitals are now up. We have over 1,000 primary healthcare centers have been built by our amiable governor. So he's doing very well in the health sector too. But ours is to try and augment and improve on what he's doing. I've also provided, portable drinking water, especially to the rural areas where they don't have, water is a challenge to them. So this we have been doing through constituency projects to, identify villages where they don't have water, and also to improve insecurity, we provide solar lights, to ensure that a lot of the villages are lit up, to discourage these bandits, from sneaking in at night to go and, kill them. So this we have been doing. We have also been providing a lot of medical equipment, especially for our Federal Medical Center. I've provided an equipment worth 300 million, so that, that will improve, the healthcare system, because it's not everything that the federal government or the state government will provide. So wherever we see, gaps within the hospitals, we try to, put it as part of our constituency project. Right now, I'm also providing a mini grid in one of our general hospitals, to complement what the state governor is doing. So there are so many things we are doing, and primary health centers. I've built about 2 or 3 of them now. I'm also providing CBT centers, so that some of the local governments, our students who usually do carry out these exams, JAM exams, are given the opportunity. Some years back they have to go to Kano, to conduct, to go and write JAM. But today we have, the centers are not enough. So I'm focusing on such areas to ensure that every local government within my senatorial zone has a CBT center. So at least that reduces, the chances of our students moving outside their own local government to go and write JAM.
Thank you.
Aside from that, it helps improve their ICT skills, because after JAM, the CBT center is there. We're building them within secondary schools, so that it becomes like a learning hub for computer training and so on.
Well, that's all the time we have on the Gavel. Thanks for watching. Send feedback to thegavel@channelstv.com. I'm Terry Ikumi. Goodbye.